Okay, so this is tough questions 32 to 41 for chapter 5. I'm just gonna get to it. Okay, so 32, they're saying they gave the derivative of a curve, which is 12 over root 4x minus 3. They're saying it passes through the point 3 comma 12. Find the equation of the normal. Okay, this goes back to chapter 3. Obviously, to find the equation of the normal, we need the slope of the normal. You know, the slope of the normal is equal to minus 1 over the slope of the tangent, صح? Okay, so we need to find the slope of the tangent, and you find the slope of the tangent by just substituting 3 into the derivative. And this is already derived, so you don't really need to do much. You just need to substitute 3. Okay, so it's going to be 12 over root 4 times 3 minus 3. So it's going to be 12 over root 9, which is 12 over 3, which is 4. Okay, so the slope is 4, but this is for the tangent. So for the normal, it's going to be equal to minus 1 over 4. So how do we find now this, the equation of it? Remember, it's y equals mx plus b. Substitute the point, so 12 is equal to the slope, minus 1 over 4, times x, 3, plus b. And we're just going to do this on a calculator. So minus 3 over 4. So 12 plus 3 over 4. You're going to get 51 over 4. So you're going to get that y is equal to minus 1 over 4x plus 51 over 4. Let's check this answer. Minus 1 over 4x plus 51 over 4. The equation of the curve, obviously, if you have the equation of the derivative, you just have to integrate. Okay, so let me just erase this a bit. I need to integrate this. So integral 12 times 4x minus 3 to the power of negative half. Why half? Because it's a radical. Why negative? Because I took it up. Okay, dx. Please make sure to put dx. Okay. You're going to integrate this using u substitution. Why are we using u substitution? Because we have more than one term under the power. So 4x minus 3. So you're going to get that du is equal to u prime dx. So derive 4 dx. Remember, you have to always write it in terms of dx. So dx is equal to du over 4. So now we can substitute our integral 12. We called 4x minus 3, we represent it as u. Dx, which is du over 4. Okay, now we continue. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So you're now integrating 3u to the power of minus half du. Okay, and then you just take the 3 down, take the u down, add 1 to the power, divide by the new power. So you're going to get 6u. Remember, plus c, huh? Plus c. Okay, so u we said is what? 4x minus 3. So 6 into 4x minus 3. Oh, sorry, 6u to the power of half. Yeah, so 6. Hold up. To the power of half. So 6 root u plus c, which is 6 radical 4x minus 3 plus c. We need our plus c, right? We know that 3 comma 12 is a point. So we substitute 6 root 4 times 3 minus 3 plus c is equal to 12, right? So you're going to get, if you solve this, you can get 12 minus 3, 9. And root 9, 3, 18. 18 plus c equals 12. So c equals to negative 6. Okay, so that means, just solve this, huh? So that means that the curve is what? 6 root 4x minus 3 minus 6. This is the curve. See? 6 root 4x minus 3 equals y. Okay, well, okay. 33. The graph of y equals 8 over x and the normal to the curve at n 4 comma 2. The normal meets the x-axis at L. Okay. So the normal to the curve. So I guess this makes a right angle. Whatever. It meets the x-axis at L. Let's see what else. The point M on the x-axis and the point K on the y on the curve, such that NM and KL are parallel. Okay, so these two are parallel to each other. Okay, I can put it like this. Find the equation of the normal at N. Okay, and show that L is the point 3 comma 0. And then show that the volume of the solid is 16 pi over 3. Okay, so the first part they're saying is find the equation of the normal at n. So they want this normal over here, right? The one that makes a right angle with the curve, which is extremely easy to find. We have the equation of the curve. So let's derive and find the slope. So 8 over x is the same as 8x to the minus 1. Its derivative will be minus 8x to the power of minus 2, right? So this is my derivative. We need to know how much, how much is the slope at this point. So we substitute 4. So it's going to be minus 8 over x squared, right? Make the power positive. Substitute now 4 minus 8 over 4 squared, which is going to be minus 8 over 16. Okay, this is the slope of the tangent. If you do this on a calculator, let's just do it fast. Minus 8 divided by 16. 8 divided by 16. You're going to get minus half. Okay. طيب, so this is the slope of the tangent. Remember, we're talking about the normal. So the normal, you do negative 1 divided by slope of the tangent. So we're going to do negative 1 divided by this answer. So negative 1 divided by answer. And you should get 2. Yeah, you get 2. So that means the slope of the normal is 2. Now we can easily do y equals mx plus b and find the equation of the normal. So y is equal to 2x plus b. Substitute the point 4 comma 2. So it's going to be 2 is equal to 2 times 4 plus b. So b is equal to minus 6. So the equation of the normal is y is equal to 2x minus 6. Very easy. So we found the equation of the normal, and we need to show that L is the point 3 comma 0. Okay. L, it's on the x-axis, right? So here y is equal to 0. صح? And they said over here, the normal meets the x-axis at L. So the L has y equals 0. They're saying show that its x-coordinate is 3. But we know that L is on this normal line. It falls on this line, right? So if you equate this to 0, you should get the x-axis of the x-coordinate of L, right? So let's see, 2x minus 6 is equal to 0, because we want to see how much is the x when this line is equal to 0. And when this line is equal to 0, it's at point L. So 2x minus 6 equals 0, so you're going to get that x is equal to 3. So that means at y equals 0, so when y is equal to 0, x is equal to 3. So we showed, and we got the full mark for part A. Okay? Show that the volume of the solid obtained when the shaded region NMLK is rotated 360 degrees about the x-axis is 16 pi over 3. We need to now show the volume of this solid. Okay? It's very easy. We only have one curve. There's no like second line, right? There's no second line. We only have one curve. We know this point over here is 3, and this point over here, even though it's not given, we have the one above it given, but they have the same x, right? So here it's 4. So our bounds are from 3 to 4. We don't have any other curve other than 8 over x, right? This is our only curve. So we can simply use the disk method, which is volume is equal to pi, integral from our bounds 3 to 4, f of x squared. So 8 over x squared dx. Very easy. So it's going to be equal to pi, integral 3 to 4, 64 over x squared dx, which is take the x squared up. So it's going to be pi, integral 3 to 4, 64 x to the power of minus 2 dx. Now continue integrating. It's going to be pi, 64 x minus 1 over minus 1. And our bounds are from 3 to 4. Continue over here, we're going to get pi, substitute, let's take the x down because it's negative, right? So it's going to be negative 64 over x, bounds from 3 to 4. Let's do it. So it's going to be pi, open bracket, minus 64 over 4, minus open bracket, minus 64 over 3. And let's see how much do we get on our calculator. Minus 64 over 4, minus 64 over 4, minus open bracket minus 64 over 3. You get 16 over 3, and don't forget about the pi. So this is equal to 16 over 3 pi, which is the same as just saying 16 pi over 3. Very easy. Question 34. A curve has equation y is equal to 8 over root x minus 1. The normal of the curve at the point 5, 4 meets the x-axis at n and the y-axis at s. Find the length of ns correct to 3 significant figures. So basically they gave us the x-intercept and the y-intercept, okay? We want to find the distance. So we need to know what the 2 points are. We know that they're on the normal, and you can find the normal, right? So how do we find the normal? It's very easy. We just need to derive and find the equation of the norm. Find the slope, plug it in. Oh my god, my phone's getting spammed. It was never this deep, bro. Okay. Anyway, yeah, you have to find the equation of the normal by finding the slope first. How do we find the slope? We need to derive. Let's take our power up. It's gonna be x minus 1 to the power of negative half. We need to derive this. Remember, for deriving, when you have more than one term under the power, you need to use chain rule. So you're gonna derive the one outside. So you're gonna take minus half down, reduce the exponent by 1. So it's gonna be minus 3 over 2 times the derivative of the inside, which is just 1. Remember, you have to use chain rule, no? So you're gonna get minus 4. Yeah, just simplifying, minus 4 x minus 1 to the power of 3 over minus 3 over 2. Okay, we need to know the slope, so you substitute 5, right? So it's gonna be minus 4, 5 minus 1 to the power of minus 3 over 2. Let's just put it in our calculator. minus 4 times 5 minus 1 is 4, so to the power of minus 3 over 2, you get minus half. Okay, so this is the slope of the tangent. Remember, we're talking about the normal. So the slope of the normal will be negative 1 divided by minus half, which is 2. Okay, now we can find the equation of the normal. So it's going to be 2x plus b, right? Substitute 5 comma 4. So 4 is equal to 2 times 5 plus b. So b is equal to negative 6. Okay, so it's going to be y is equal to 2x minus 6. Remember, we're talking about the x-intercept and the y-intercept. At the x-axis, y is equal to 0. So let's find the x-intercept. 2x minus 6 equals 0. So you can get x is equal to 3. So your first point is 3 comma 0. How about the y-intercept? The y-intercept is so easy. Y-intercept, you just substitute 0 as your x. So it's going to be y is equal to 0 minus 6. So it's going to be minus 6. So your second point is 0 minus 6. We want to find, this is my x-intercept, this is my y-intercept. We need to know the length of this point. This is n, this is s. How do you find it? Distance formula. x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, all under a radical. So root. Minus 6, 0 minus 3 squared. So we can just put minus 3 squared plus minus 6 minus 0 squared. Okay, over here, let's do it on our calculator. Let's just put 6 squared and 3 squared, just for simpler purposes. To 3 significant figures, it's going to be 6.71. Okay, so equals 6.71. Let's see. Where am I? Yeah, 6.71. Okay, find the area of the region enclosed by the curve, the x-axis, and the lines x equals 2 and x equals 5. Okay, so we want to find now the area, not volume, very easy. We have our curve, we have the x-axis, and the lines x equals 2 and x equals 5. Before, I don't know why I erased it. Here for n, we got 3 comma 0, just so you can see. And for s, we got 0 minus 6. So they're saying between 2 and 5. So it's kind of like, it's not negative. You know what I mean? It's not negative between 2 and 5. You can see, because it's negative over here at 0. And then after 3, like, it started going up. So it's not negative. So you can just easily do, for the area, integral from 2 to 5, 8 over root x minus 1. And you know how to integrate this. You're going to get integral dx. Please don't forget the dx. 2 to 5, 8 x minus 1 to the minus half dx. So it's gonna be, let's see, integral of this, use u substitution because it's more than one term under the power. So du is gonna be equal to 1 dx, so just du equals dx. So therefore you're gonna get integral 2 to the 2 from 2 to 5, 8u minus half du. You can easily integrate this, so it's gonna be 8. You add 1 to the power, half divided by half, you're gonna get 16 radical u, and we know u is x minus 1, so x minus 1 from 2 to 5. Okay, let's just put it fast. I'll just show you the from 2 to 5, right? Yeah, and you get 16. Let's see. I'm not gonna solve it, you solve it yourself. A curve is such that d squared y over dx squared is minus 6x plus 2. Okay, for 35, I don't know where I left off, so I'm pretty sure I finished this question. A curve is such that d squared y over dx squared is equal to minus 6x plus 2. Then we said the curve has a maximum point at 2, 18, whatever. So they gave you the second derivative and they gave you a maximum point. Here's maximum point. It's not a point, it's a maximum point. There's something you have to keep in mind. At the maximum point, well, this is a point on the curve, but at the maximum point, the derivative, so when you get dy over dx, it equals 0. So, in other words, they give us y double prime. They want us to find the equation of the curve, which is y. To go from y double prime to y, I need to pass by y prime. But here's the thing, when you're integrating, obviously we're going to integral, right? Because we're going to reverse the derivative. We're going to integrate, we're going to get this plus c, and they're saying for the equation of the curve. So obviously you can't keep it in terms of plus c, so you need to substitute this 2, 18. So let's start by integrating to find the derivative. You can say dy over dx is equal to integral d squared y over dx squared dx, okay? And you can write this, or you can just say y prime is equal to integral y double prime dx, whatever, but you need to show like something like this, okay? Therefore it's going to be integral d squared y over dx, so integral minus 6x plus 2 dx, so it's going to be minus 6 over 2x squared plus 2x plus c, because it's an indefinite integral without bounds. So it's going to be minus 3x squared plus 2x plus c. This is our derivative. But again, we can't keep it in terms of plus c, so we need to substitute 2 comma 18. Here's what people do. They're going to substitute 2 for x and 18 for y. But why is this wrong? Because this is what y prime. This is a maximum point. Remember, at your turning points, local minimum, local maximum, the derivative is equal to 0. So when you substitute 2 now, we should equal it to 0. So at x equals 2, you should write y prime is equal to 0. So therefore, 0 is equal to minus 3 times 2 squared plus 2 times 2 plus c. So it's going to be 0 is equal to minus 12 plus 4 plus c. So you're going to get c is equal to 8. So that means y prime is equal to minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 8. But we're not done. They want the equation, they want y. So again, you're going to write another r. Y is equal to integral y prime dx. Or you can say y is equal to integral dy over dx dx. So it's going to be integral minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 8 dx. Always remember to put the dx on if you're writing an integral. Okay, so you continue. The integral will be minus 3 over 3x cubed plus 2 over 2x squared plus 8x. Right? Plus c. This cancels, so you're going to be left with negative x cubed plus x squared plus 8x plus c is equal to y. Remember, we can't keep it in terms of c. Now we substitute, we actually substitute the 18, because now we're on the curve. Okay, so it's going to be minus 2 cubed plus 2 squared plus 8 times 2 plus c is equal to 18. You're going to get negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4 plus 16 is 12. C is equal to 6. So therefore you're going to get y is equal to minus x cubed plus x squared plus 8x plus 6. Let's check this answer. See, minus x cubed plus 8x plus 6. Yes. Okay, very easy. For question 36, we have until 41. Okay, for 36, they gave you this curve, and they gave you that the derivative is equal to minus p over x cubed. The curve passes through the points 1, 20 and 4, 5. These 2 points, over here and over here. Okay, and they're saying show by integration that the equation of the curve is this. So obviously, if you have the derivative and you're trying to find the equation of the curve, you need to integrate, right? So let's write on the side, we need to integral. So let's say y is equal to integral dy over dx, right? So it's going to be integral minus p over x cubed, okay, dx. Please don't get confused. They're integrating with respect to x. P is just a constant, so treat it as if it's a number, okay? How do we integrate when you have a number? You just take it to the side. Before integrating, I need to take x cubed up. Remember, we can't integrate if it's in the denominator, right? So it's going to be integral minus p, minus p x to the power of minus 3 dx, right? هلا بدك تعمل integration. You have the coefficient, you have a constant. It's a constant, okay? It's not another letter. So you just take it down. You treat it as if it's a normal number. Remember, when you're integrating, you take the number down, you take the x down, add on to the exponent, divide by the new exponent. Minus minus cancels, so it's going to be p over 2x. So this is my equation for y. We need to show that it's equal to 2x squared, because the minus 2 becomes squared. Goes down, becomes positive. Okay, so you need to now show that it's equal to this, 16 over x squared plus 4. What do? You know that you have two values. Okay, well, oh shit, I have to say plus c, right? Plus c. Remember, when you integrate, put plus c. Okay, always put plus c. If there's no bounds, if it's an indefinite integral, you have to put plus c. Sometimes I forget, but you really, I don't know how I can't expect to get it correct if I don't put plus c. Okay, so you got this, right? This is your y. طيب you need to know what p is, you need to know what c is. طب نحن they gave us what? They gave us 2 points. They gave us 1, 20 and 4, 5. So we can try them both out. Okay, so we said p over 2x squared. So 2 times 1 squared plus c is equal to 20. That's the first one. And then the second one, p over 2 times 4 squared plus c is equal to 5. So we have two simultaneous equations. Let's clean this up a bit. So p over 2 plus c is equal to 20 And here, p over, this is 16 times 2, p over 32 plus c is equal to 5. You can solve whichever way you want. Some people just subtract both equations. And I'm just gonna find an expression for c. If you move p over 2 to the other side, you can get 20 minus p over 2. So over here, for instead of c, we can substitute 20 minus p over 2. So p over 32 plus c, which is 20 minus p over 2, is equal to 5, okay? And you can solve this equation very easily. P over 32 minus p over 2, we can do this over our equation. So you can just say 1 over 32 minus 1 over 2. It's minus 15 over 32. So you're going to get minus 15 over 32 p, and take the 20 to the other side. 5 minus 20 is negative 15. And you can solve this equation very easily. Negative 15 multiplied by 32 divided by negative 15, you get 32. So p is equal to 32. Type, we also need c, right? Because we got p over 2 plus c. We found p, we need c command. So p over 2x squared plus c, right? We found p 32, we need c. We said c is equal to 20 minus p over 2. So c is equal to 20 minus 32 over 2. So it's equal to 4. Because 32 over 2 is 16, 20 minus 16 is 4. So you get p equals 32, c equals 4. So we can go back to our equation. We're going to get 32 over 2x squared plus 4 is equal to y. But we can simplify, divide by 2 up and down. And also, you can see this is not what they want. They want it to be, it's different. So you just divide by 2 up and down. 32 divided by 2 cancels. So you get 16 over x squared plus 4 is equal to y. Okay, very easy. Okay, so we showed it. We finished from part A. Then they said the point D lies on the curve over here, and its x-coordinate is 2. Find the area of the shaded region. So we're finding the area between the curve and the x-axis, right? And our bounds are given 1 and 2. Very easy. ما فيش أسهل من هيك. Okay, and it's all in the positive area. So يعني there's nothing to do other than just do integral from 1 to 2 from our curve. Our curve is what we found it in part A, 16 over x squared plus 4. I'm just going to take the x squared up so it's easier for me to integrate, make it x to the power of minus 2. Okay, and we're going to continue to solve this. So it's going to be integral of this will be 16 over negative 1 x to the power of negative 1, right? Add 1 to the power, divide by the new power, plus 4x in between 1 and 2. So it's going to be minus 16 over x plus 4x from 1 till 2. I just cleaned this up a bit, okay? So it's going to be minus 16 over 2 plus 4 times 2 minus, open bracket, I'm substituting now, minus 16 over 1 plus 4 times 1, close bracket. Let's do this on our calculator. Tab. Minus 16 over 2 is just minus 8 plus 8 because, you know, they cancel out. Sorry, 4 times 2, sorry, is 8. Minus, open bracket now, minus 16 plus 4, you get 12. Okay, so the area is equal to 12 unit squared. Please put the unit, okay? Usually, they don't care, but if you're doing externals, apparently in my mock, I was supposed to write down units. My teacher told me, you, in the external exam, you won't get marks if you don't put the unit, okay? So if they don't say centimeter or whatever, and you're just talking on a grid, you have to say unit squared, okay? U squared, okay? That's your unit. So let's see, 12 square units. Even see here, they put square units. You need to put your unit, okay? Also, I think previously when I solved another area question, I should have put unit squared. Okay, غلط. I need to. حتى in the earlier one, come on, we did one with volume, right? Yeah, I should have put unit cube, u cube. Okay, please don't forget. I wouldn't want you to lose marks for something stupid like this. The diagram shows part of the curve y equals b over x, where b is a positive constant. Given that the volume obtained is 27 pi, find the volume b. I think we've solved this before in the quiz, but let's just do it fast. So this is y is equal to b over x, and they said that the volume obtained is 27 pi. So how do we find the volume for this? It's just one curve, there's no other curve. We have our bounds, everything's above the x-axis, it's very easy. So we can simply apply the formula and do the disk method. Pi integral from 1 to 2 f of x squared, right? When you're finding volume, you square. So b squared over x squared dx, and let's make this easier to integrate. We have to take the x squared up, So it's going to be b squared x to the power minus 2 dx. Integrate this, you're going to get b squared x to the power minus 1 over minus 1 from 1 to 2 with pi outside, right? So it's going to be, let's clean this up a bit. So it's going to be minus b squared over x, pi outside, from 1 until 2. صح? Okay, now start substituting. Pi minus b squared, so minus 2 squared over, no, sorry, you don't substitute b. Don't substitute b, substitute x, right? We're not changing b, we're doing everything with respect to x. So minus b squared over 2 minus open bracket minus b squared over 1. Okay, so it's gonna be pi minus b squared minus, I did something wrong. Oh yeah, you can't, sorry, yeah, I'm saying you can't just of course you can't combine. So you're gonna get minus b squared over 2 minus b squared over 1, so it's gonna be plus b squared, right? So obviously to combine these two we need to have like denominators, right? So we're gonna multiply up and down by 2. Okay, so it's gonna be, I'm gonna continue down here, it's gonna be minus b squared over 2 plus 2b squared over 2. So it's gonna be what? Pi minus 1 plus 2 is just 1, so b squared over 2. And how much is this equal to? They said it's equal to 27 pi. Okay, cancel, so you get b squared over 2 is equal to 27. Okay, so b is gonna be, b squared is equal to 54, and you're gonna get b is equal to root 54. I feel like it's wrong, I don't know why. Huh? How did they get 3? B squared over x squared from 1 to 4. And how, why am I taking from 1 to 2? I wanna cry والله. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm saying في شي غلط يا أخي. Let me redo this. Am I drunk? والله I don't understand. أنا بشوف 4 I write down 2. كيف؟ I don't know. mistake أخي أحيانا. Yeah, I don't know what to say والله. Sometimes هيك بسطل. Anyway, let me erase all this. We can start again. So from 4 till 1. So it's just easy, just replace the 4 and 1. Okay, and then continue. And we got this. The hard part was done. This substitution part. Which, in my opinion, I hate the substitution part. I hate it more than the minus open bracket. I hate it more than the actually integrating part. Okay, minus b squared over 4. And then over here, and then minus b squared over 1. Close bracket. Oh, we can now simplify more. You're going to get minus b squared over 4 plus b squared over 1. So you multiply by 4 up and down. You're going to get pi 3b squared, because 4 minus 1 plus 4 is going to be 3 over 4. And this is equal to 27 pi. And now you can continue solving pi with pi. 4 times 27 is going to be 4 times 2, 8, 28 is going to be 108. Okay, so 3b squared is equal to 108. So b squared is equal to 108 divided by 3 is 27. Right? Is it 27? No, it's not 27. It's equal to 36, sorry. Equal to 36. So b is going to be equal to plus minus root 36. So it's equal to plus minus 6. But they said it's positive. So minus 6 is rejected. So hence b is equal to 6. Question 38. Y is equal, okay, you have the diagram shows part of the curve y is equal to x plus 8 over x, which has a minimum point at q. Okay, the line y equals 6 intersects the curve at the points s and t. Okay, so we're above 0, we're over here at 6. Find the coordinates of s, t, and q. Okay, so we know that at s and t y is equal to 6, so we can easily find s and t by just equating y is equal to x plus 8 over x to 6, right? So x plus 8 over x is equal to 6. How would you solve this? Let me see. Okay, the first thing that's coming to my mind over here to solve is multiply by, you need to combine these two obviously. So multiply, it is over 1, multiply by x up and down so that you can add these two fractions. So you're going to get x squared now plus 8 over x is equal to 6. Now you can cross multiply, so you're going to get x squared plus 8 is equal to 6x. And you can solve this as a quadratic, so x squared minus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. Then which two numbers multiply to get 8, but when you add them you get 6, obviously 4 and 2, so you get x and 4, x and 2. Since it's plus, so you put minus minus, so you get 2 roots, x is equal to 4, x is equal to 2. You could also do quadratic formula, whatever you prefer. So obviously the one that's to the left is 2, and the one that's to the right is 4. So s is 2 comma 6, t is 4 comma 6. How about q? It's given that q is the minimum point, okay? Minimum point. What does minimum point mean? And it's the local minimum, and it's a turning point, right? It's a stationary point. How do you find the stationary point of any curve? You have to derive. How do you derive x plus 8 over x? Oh, actually, let's rewrite it in a term that in a way we can derive, like this. What's the derivative of this? Dy over dx is going to be equal to what? Derivative of x is just 1. Minus 1 times 8 is minus 8. Reduced by 1 comes minus 2. Okay. So, x is 0. Yeah, so you get this. This is your derivative, right? To find the turning point, what do? You always equate your derivative to 0. So dy over dx is equal to 0. Hence, 1 minus 8x to the power minus 2 is equal to 0. Let's take our x squared down. So it's going to be 1 minus 8 over x squared equals 0. How do you solve this? You can take 1 there. You're going to get minus 8 over x squared is equal to negative 1. Cancel negative with negative. You're going to get 8 over x squared is equal to 1. Cross multiply, 8 over 1 is equal to x squared. So x is going to be equal to root 8. I need to check if this is correct. Root 8, which is, yeah, root 8, by the way, is 2 radical 2. Root 8, yeah, 2 radical 2. So x is equal to 2 root 2. So the point for q, plus minus, it has to be plus minus, I'm pretty sure. Plus minus, but since it's above, since it's like, we're talking, and look, we're going at the positive side, so it's going the negative value will be rejected, so we're only going to consider 2 root 2, right? So it's x is going to be, so q is going to be 2 root 2, comma, how much is y at 2 root 2? Obviously, you can't substitute x into the derivative because it's going to get you 0. We need to substitute x into our original y, right? So substitute 2 root 2, so 2 root 2 into y, 2 root 2 plus 8 over 2 root 2. And there بتكون, let's see, 2 root 2 plus 8 over 2 root 2 يطلع لك 4 root 2. So 2 root 2 comma 4 root 2. Let's see, let's check if this is correct. 2 root 2 comma 4 root 2. Yes. Okay, so we found our coordinates. Find the volume obtained when the shaded region is rotated through 360 degrees about the x-axis. Okay, let me erase all this because كل هيدا منه عادي. طيب. We're talking about the x-axis. We now have two curves. We have our curve here, or another curve, y equals 6, right? When you have two curves, you need to use the washer method, right? And we're going to be talking now about radiuses, radii. We have a bigger radius, we have a smaller radius. Obviously, with respect to this shaded region, the bigger radius will be the one on top because we're talking about the x-axis. إذا كنا عم نحكي عن y-axis, it's the other way around, right? If it was y-axis, it's going to be different, okay? But we're talking about x-axis. X-axis, you look, which one's further away from x-axis? In other words, which one is on top? The one on top is always the bigger radius because it's a larger distance from the x-axis, okay? So our big R in this case will be the one on top, which is y equals 6. So our bigger radius is 6. And our smaller radius will be this curve over here. X, y is equal to x plus 8 over x. Okay, let's apply our formula. Integral. From what distances? We're talking about from s till t. That's why, by the way, they required us to find s and t to know our bounds. So from 2 to 4. So integral from 2 to 4. Big R squared, so 6 squared, minus small r squared, x plus 8 over x squared. We need to expand this dx, right? We need to expand this. Let's do x plus 8 over x squared. It's a squared plus 2ab, so plus 2ab. So this, so 2 times x times 8 over x, cancel, cancel. So 2 times 8, 16, plus 8 over x squared, which is 64 over x squared. Okay, so x squared, so we're going to rewrite this now. 2 to 4, 6 squared, minus a plus b squared, we said it's what? X squared plus 16 plus 64 over x squared. Okay, let's continue now. It's going to be integral from 2 to 4, 36 minus x squared plus sorry minus, I'm distributing the minus inside بدخل minus جوا, minus 16 minus 64 over x squared dx. Now you can integrate this, right? Pi outside, shit, and I nested pi completely. Pi, okay? We can subtract the 36 and 16. It's gonna be pi from 2 to 4. 36 minus 16 is 20, so 20 minus x squared minus 64 over x squared, I'm gonna take it up, okay? So it's gonna be minus 2 dx. Now we can integrate this, okay? I'm gonna go down here. It's gonna be pi. Let's integrate. 20 is 20x, صح? X squared will become x cubed over 3. As minus 64 x to the power minus 2 is going to be minus 64 x to the minus 1 over minus 1. And our bounds are from 2 until 4. We're going to continue. So it's going to be pi 20x minus 20x minus x cubed over 3 plus 64 over x from 2 to 4. Now let's substitute. So it's going to be pi 20 times 4 minus 4 cubed over 3 plus 64 over 4, because I'm substituting 4, minus, open bracket, substitute 2. 20 times 2 minus 2 cubed over 3 plus 64 over 2. Close, close. Okay, let's do this on our calculator. Pi outside, so we're going to have 20 times 4, so 80, minus 4 cubed over minus 4 cubed is 64 over 3. Plus 64 over 4 minus, open bracket, 20 times 2, which is 40, and minus 2 cube. 2 cube is 8, right? 2 cube is 8 over 3 plus 64 over 2, close bracket. You get 16 over 3 pi. So V is equal to 16 over 3 pi unit cube. Let's check our answer, inshallah it's correct. Yeah, 16 over 3 pi cubic units. You have to say unit cube. Okay. 3 questions left. These look fairly easy. We leave this till the end. Is there anything after this? No. If some questions here don't come tomorrow or Monday, it's because they will definitely come in your final exam. I'm sure you're gonna get something in your final to do with integration or volume or something, and there has to be something. Anyway, let's continue. The diagram shows part of the curve. Y is equal to 2 root x minus x. The curve has a maximum point at F, intersects the x-axis at O and G. Find the coordinates of F and G. Okay, this is very similar to the last question we solved. Let's first find F and G. Let's first find G. G is an x-intercept, so Y is equal to 0 at this point. So if you just equate this to 0, you should be able to find this. So 2 root x minus x equals to 0. You could maybe take x to the other side, get 2 root x is equal to x, square both sides. You could do this if you want. So it's going to be 4x is equal to x squared, and then take 4x to the right, you're going to get x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. Okay, and you can just solve this, take x out, x minus 4 is equal to 0, so you're going to get two solutions, x equals 0, x is equal to 4, and obviously x equals 0 is the point O, and the second point will be G. Okay, you could do this way. Other people actually, and especially if you're doing AS math, they solve quadratics like this. They consider this as a quadratic. Leading term is minus x plus 2 root x is equal to 0. This is nice. Like I saw this in the Cambridge book. So it's minus x to the power of 1 plus 2x to the power of half. If you square both of these, yeah, which is basically what we did here. So if you square both of these, you're gonna get I put square here. You're gonna get x squared plus 4 plus 4x equals 0, like we did over here, which is pretty much what we did, but the way Sabis taught us wasn't to think like this. The way they taught us, isolate your terms and then square. Okay, you can do whatever, يعني عادي. But this is just the way they teach you, by the way, for the AS math, and it's in the Cambridge book as well, because I was going over it the other day. Anyway, so G is gonna be at x equals 4. So G is gonna be 4, 0. طيب, F to find f, they told us it's a maximum. So like the other question, maximum means we have to derive and equate to 0, right? 2 root x minus x, so it's going to be 2x to the power of half minus x is equal, is minus x, this is my y, right? We need to derive. So dy over dx is going to be equal to half times 2 times x to the power of minus half, because you subtract by 1, minus 1, because derivative of x is 1. So you're going to cancel these two, you're going to get x to the power of minus half minus 1, and you're going to equate this to 0. So you're going to get 1 over root x, because this is 1 over root x, right, is equal to 1, because I took minus 1 to the other side. Cross multiply, pretty much you're going to get root x is equal to 1. And obviously, if you square both sides, you're going to get x is equal to 1. So that means for f, the x coordinate is 1, but we need to know the y. So what do? We go back here, we substitute 1, 2 root 1 minus 1 is going to be equal to 1. So f should be 1 comma 1. Let's check this. F are 1 comma 1. So they found f first, then found g. That doesn't matter really. Okay. Next, they're saying find the volume obtained when the shaded region rotated through the x-axis. Give you a terms. Okay, whatever. We have one curve, x-axis. There's no second curve. You want to find volume. What do? Easiest one. Volume is equal to pi integral. Our bounds are from what? From 0 until g, which we found as 4. From 0 till 4 of the function squared. So 2 root x minus x squared. Oh, this is ugly. I don't like these. I don't like when you have radical and x term together, because you're gonna have radical in your answer. Anyway, dx, right? Let's start integrating. So we need to first expand, because when you expand, you're gonna have a root. A minus b squared. So a squared, so it's gonna be 4x, because 2 root x squared is 4x. When you have, by the way, when it's 3 root, I don't know, x square, the square goes to both terms, huh? Okay? You need to keep that in mind. It doesn't only go to the root, or it doesn't only go to the 3. So a squared minus 2ab, so minus 2 times x times 2 root x plus b squared, so plus x squared dx. So we're going to get the volume is equal to pi integral from 0 to 4. 4x minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. X root x plus x squared dx. Now let's integrate this. We need to make this, I'm going to rewrite this as x to the power of 3 over 2, because this is 1 and this is half. So 1 plus half, I'm going to rewrite it as x to the power of 3 over 2. Okay, x to the power of 3 over 2, because I need to integrate. So I'm going to get volume is equal to pi. Let's start integrating. 4 over 2 x squared minus 4 x to the power of 5 over 2 over 5 over 2 plus x cubed over 3. Our bounds are from 0 till 4. Let's simplify. 4 over 2, we're going to replace it as 2. Right? 4 over 2 is we're going to put it as 2. Minus 4 over 5 over 2. Minus 4 divided by 5 over 2 is, let's see, 5 over 2 is going to be minus 8 over 5. So, Heidi, we're going to make it minus 8 over 5. Minus 8 over 5 x to the power 5 over 2. And this one we just keep it like this. We're going to substitute now 4. If you substitute 0, it's not going to get you anything. So we're just going to substitute 4 to make our life. But you have to remember, under written class, I'll substitute 0 and show you, okay? But you have to write, just write 0, okay? Pi, open bracket, 2 times 4 squared minus 8 times 4 to the power of 5 over 2 over 5. You could put 8 over 5, 4 to the power of 5 over 2. Adi, that's fine. Plus 4 cubed over 3 minus open bracket and just put 0. This will get you a full mark. But please, make sure that the brackets are written properly. Like مثلا شوف, if you have an open bracket here, you should close it. Same way like the calculator reads it, the human will also read the same way. The corrector will read the same way. Okay? 2 times 4 square minus 8 over 5 times 4 to the power 5 over 2 plus 4 cubed over 3, 32 over 15 unit cube. Let's check our answer. Yes. Oh, pi. Shit, I forgot about pi. Pi. Okay. I keep on forgetting about pi, man. Please don't forget about the pi. Please don't forget about the pi. And when I talk to you guys, by the way, I'm also talking to myself at the same time, because I'm indirectly telling myself not to forget the pi. Like مثلا in mechanics, when I always tell you guys, please don't forget to write the vector symbol on top of the fx and fy. It's because I keep on forgetting to write the vector symbol, so I'm indirectly telling myself as well. Okay. Anyway, 40. On the diagram, it shows the graph y equals root 8x plus 1, bounded by the points A and B. The shaded region is bounded by the curve, the y-axis, and the line y equals 3. So you have two curves, right? You have the line y equals 3, you have a curve, and we're looking between it and the y-axis, which makes sense. Anyway, whatever, find the area of the shaded region. Okay, to find the area of the shaded region, remember we're looking with respect to the y-axis, right? When you're looking with respect to the y-axis, there are two things you need to know. أول شيء, you need your bounds. From what y to what y are we going? We're going from A up until B. So from y equals 1 till y equals 3. So from 1 to 3, okay? You need to now know your function in terms of y. So root 8x plus 1, y is equal to root 8x plus, y is equal to root 8x plus 1. So you need to rewrite this in terms of y. So it's going to be x is equal to square both sides, so y squared minus 1 over 8. Okay, just you know how to do it, yeah? Just square both sides, take the 1 to the other side, divide by 8. Yeah? This is, if you have a pen and paper beside you, you can do this easily. So we said x, originally y was equal to root 8x plus 1. So it's gonna be, this is x, okay? And let me just make sure I'm not bullshitting. Yeah, y squared minus 1 over 8. Okay. You now have your function in terms of y, you have your bounds. All you have to do now to find the area is just integrate, right? We're going from 1 till 3. We're integrating y squared minus 1 over 8. To make my life easier, I'm going to put the over 8 for both of them, right? Because we integrate one by one. dy, always dy, if you're integrating with respect to y. So area is going to be equal to this. Let's continue over here. Let's integrate this. Y squared over 8 is going to be 1 over 8 y cube over 3. Remember, if you have a denominator, take it to the side and then integrate it. Minus 1 over 8 y. If it's a constant, you just add a coefficient. Okay. We're going from 1 to 3. Fix it. So it's going to be y cube over 24 minus y over 8 from 1 to 3. Now substitute 3. I'll continue up here. So it's going to be 3 cube over 24 minus 3 over 8 minus open bracket 1 over 24 minus 1 over 8. Open your calculator, get your calculator. 3 cube over 27, over 24 minus 3 over 8 minus open bracket 1 over 24 minus 1 over 8 equals 5 over 6. So it should be 5 over 6. Don't forget unit square because it's area, right? Let's see. 5 over 6. Okay. The area, what do you mean or? Yeah, I'm reading this. They went from 0 to 1. They did this from, okay, yeah, that's, I thought of this as well, but there's no need to do it. Do it this way. The other way is confusing, okay? Find the volume obtained when the shaded region is rotated through 360 degrees about the x-axis. Okay, we can now find the volume. I'm pretty sure you just do it. Yeah, you do the formula. So we have our bounds. Remember, we have our bounds from 1 to 3. And we have our equation in terms of y. It was x is equal to y squared minus 1 over 8, right? It's very easy to just find the volume. Please don't forget, we're looking, there's no two curves. You're just looking from here to here, right? Very easy. Y, this line here is just the bound. It's the bound, y equals 3. Okay, it's the bound. So you won't consider it as another curve. But I remember one time in the course, in the one of the course practices, we had our function going like this and like this. But when considering the y-axis, when we were finding the area of the y, I considered the bound as another curve. Why? Because this wasn't a bound. This was just a vertical line, x equals 2. I remember it was x equals 2. But remember, we're talking about the y-axis, right? We're looking at the area volume between the y-axis. So if you're looking at the volume of the y-axis and you have a vertical line, you consider that a curve, because that's a different thing. That's x equals 2. But so on, it's a y equals 9. So I'm looking at the y-axis. So always, if you're looking at x-axis and then you see a y equals 9, then that's another curve. But if you're looking at the y-axis and you see an x equals 9, that means that's also another curve. Okay? So if they're switched, if the lines are like switched, then you consider it another curve. But here, this is y equals, and I'm looking at y-axis. So no need to consider it as another curve. So we only have one curve, and we're asked to find the volume. So since we have one curve, we're just going to use v equals pi integral from 1 to 3 y squared minus 1 over 8 squared. Okay, so let's expand this. Volume is equal to pi integral from 1 to 3 y squared minus 1 squared over 8 squared. Okay, dy. Okay, you just distribute the integral up and down, right? Y squared minus 1 squared, I'm going to continue here. It's a minus b squared, so it's going to be equal to a squared, so it's going to be integral 1, 2, 3. A squared, so y to the power 4, minus 2ab, so minus 2 times 1 times y squared, so minus 2y squared, plus b squared, so plus 1 over 64 dy. Integrate. So you're going to get volume is equal to, this over 64 is for everything, so we need to split it up. 1 to 3, y to 4 over 64 minus 2y squared over 64, which we can just rewrite as 1 over 32. Simplify up and down, divide by 2. Okay, plus 1 over 64 dy. Let's start. So you're going to get pi, open bracket. Y to the power 4 of 64 is 1 over 64. Y to the power 5 over 5 minus y to the power of 1 over 32, right? Remember, take the denominator to the side. 1 over 32, y to the power of 3 over 3, plus 1 over 64 y. Our bounds are from 1 to 3. Okay, so pi. Start. 64 times 5, let's simplify this a bit. 64 times 5 is 370, right? 64 times 5. 64 times 5, 320. 60 times, yeah, 320. So we're gonna change to y to the power 5 over 320. With this 32 times 3, we're gonna change it into 96. So minus y cubed over 96. And then the 1 over 64, we're just gonna keep it 1 over 64. I'm just cleaning it up a bit. It makes your work way neater. Okay, 1 over 64. And our bounds are from 1 to 3. So let's start. So it's going to be 3 to the power 5 over 320. My god, my back hurts crazy, man. 3 to the power 5 over 320 minus 3 to the power 3 over 96 plus 1 over 64. There was supposed to be y here. 1 over 64 times 3 minus, open bracket, substitute 1 over 320 minus 1 over 96 plus 1 over 64, because if you multiply by 1, it's like not multiplying anything. Okay, so let's do this on a calculator. 3 to the power 5. Let me cut to when I got it already. Okay, so I got 31 over 60. So the volume is going to be equal to 31 over 60 pi. Okay, but I'm checking my answer. I'm taking a look. I'm like, whoa, what are these guys doing? Okay, and I'm like, shit. Let me reread the question. I'm seeing x-axis. Costa Rica. I have to resolve. بس خلاص, good. You watch this. You saw the y-axis. In case it's better practice. خلاص. Extra is never bad for you when it comes to learning. Extra knowledge. Let me redo this and solve for the x-axis. For the x-axis, you just simply take it in terms of x, right? So we're gonna do, let's see, we're going from, obviously, from the shaded region. So we're going from 0 until 1. So our bounds, we know, are from 0 till 1. Let's take a look. we don't really have two. We do have two curves, right? Because we have a y equals 9, we have a y equals 3, 9, right? So we have two curves, this curve, our curve, and the other 9. Remember, I told you, if you're looking at the x-axis and you have a y equals 9, that means it's considered a curve. So we have y equals root 8x plus 1, that's one curve, and y equals 3, that's another curve. So you have two curves. For what method are we going to use? We're going to use the washer method. So we need to identify which one's big R, which one's small r. Okay, big R is always the one that's above. When you're looking at the x-axis, is going to be the one above, or the one further away from the x-axis. And in this case, it's 3. Small r is root 8x plus 1. Okay, rate 8x plus 1 under the root. طيب, washer method, so it's going to be pi integral from 0 to 1, because we're going from 0 to 1, right? Big R squared minus small r squared, so 3 squared minus small r squared, so root 8x plus 1 squared dx. So it's going to be a bit easier. So pi integral from 0 to 1, 9 minus 8x plus 1 dx. We can simplify, combine like terms. 9 plus 1 is going to be 10. So 10 minus 8x dx. Okay. طيب, we're going to continue doing this. Go up here. So it's going to be v is equal to pi. Integral 0 to 1, 10 minus 8x dx. Yeah, we're going to integrate now. So 10x minus 8x squared over 2. And our bounds are from 0 till 1. So this is way simpler than what I was doing earlier. So it's going to be 10x minus 4x squared from 0 to 1. You're going to have pi, open up, 10 minus 4 minus open bracket 0. Okay, and it should be 6 pi unit cube. Shall is correct. 4 pi. Did I do something wrong? And let me see. Let's see, what did I do wrong? Root 8x plus 1 طيب square, and it's the same thing I have. So 9 yeah, Walid might be stupid, guys. He might be stupid. Okay, so you have 9 minus, you square it, becomes 8x plus 1, and the 1 is distributed into the minus is distributed into the bracket, so it becomes 9 minus 1, which is 8 minus 8x. This here should be 8 minus 8x dx. Okay, so over here, you just change it to an 8. Allah. Okay, in the exam, and inshallah, and I won't make these mistakes. But it's always when I'm recording, because I know when I'm recording, I'm like half. And I'm just going with the flow. I'm barely focusing. So 8 minus 4 would be 4. So 4 pi unit cube. Okay. See, 4 pi unit cube. Okay, find the acute angle between the two tangents. What? Tangents are drawn to the curve at points A and point B. Okay, find the acute angle between the two tangents. Let's see this. Okay, so I got this one. I managed to solve it. I was basically, you're gonna have to graph, just so you can understand it a bit. But if you see this in your exam, I'm gonna give you steps. Obviously, for those who like to memorize, for those who want to actually understand, أهلا وسهلا. Here you go. Whoa, why is this showing? I hate this. Isma, does anybody actually know how to turn this stuff off? Does it show my recording? Yeah, it does. Wallah, it's pissing me off. I watched a YouTube video, I did it. It stopped, like it stopped showing. Wallah, now it keeps on showing. Please, wallah, if you know, have a Lenovo PC, huh? If in case that matters. Please, wallah, if there's anybody who can help. How do you turn this off, wallah? Okay, المهم. Find the acute angle between the two tangents. Basically, you drew two tangents. Okay, they're saying we drew two tangents, one at A, one at B. So I'm gonna draw them both for you to help you understand. Okay, before doing that, I'm just gonna continue this x-axis over here. Continue it to the left, try 180. Okay, you want a tangent at A, so it's gonna look something like this. Let me make it red. Okay, over here at A. So you could say it's something like this, right? And then let me continue it down all the way. So there's a tangent over here at A, just so you can help visualize what's going on. Tangent at A, بعدين عندك tangent at B, so it's gonna be something like this over here. Okay, that's it. There you go. That's it. Okay, so you have two tangents. Tangent of A, we're gonna call TA, and we have tangent of B, we're gonna call TB. Okay, so we have A and B, tangent A, tangent B. They coincide, they intersect over here, and they form an angle between them. The question is asking us to calculate the angle for me. Now, there may be another way you guys do it. I looked at the solution. I didn't really understand what they're doing over here. But I'm going to show you my way. You can, maybe someone else may have a different method. But this is the easiest way I saw, in my opinion. Because I saw it like this. I saw a triangle. I'm like, okay, it could make sense. Because I figured out that I can find this angle and I can find this angle. And I can just do 180 minus. Or I can do this equals this plus this. Whatever. It's basic any geometry. From the last math periodic we had, there was actually a question to calculate the angle between the x-axis and the tangent. So it would make sense to see this in the periodic. Okay, you should say, okay, now you know how to calculate an angle between the x-axis and the tangent, so you're going to use it now. So basically, if you get the slope of a tangent and you do shift tan of slope, it actually gives you the angle between the tangent and the x-axis. What's the reason for this? Slope is equal to rise over run. When if you look at this here, by the way, this is a right triangle. The rise is the how much you go up, and the run is how much you go to the right. Opposite over adjacent. So it's the same thing as just doing tan. Okay, and we're gonna do this later in chapter 7 or chapter 8. I'm not sure what chapter, but so we're gonna do trigonometry all over again. But anyway, that's my point. You can memorize this. Shift tan slope is equal to the theta between tangent and x-axis. Okay, so we need to know the angle between the x-axis and each tangent, right? So let's start with TA. What's the value of it? How do you find the slope of a tangent? You need to derive and plug in the x value, right? So we need to derive this. Root 8x plus 1, right? It's equal to 8x plus 1 to the power of half. The derivative of it will be, you need to use chain rule because it's more than one term, right? 8x plus 1. So we derive the outside. Now multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is just 8. 8 and over 2 cancels, so you're going to get 4 over root 8x plus 1, right? Okay, I took it down because it's negative and it's half, so it's a root. طيب, this is your dy over dx. I need to know the slope of A and slope of B. How do you know slope of A? M of A is equal to, substitute the x coordinate of A, which is 0, so 4 over 0 plus 1 root, so it's going to be equal to 4. How about the slope of B? Substitute 1, so it's going to be 4 over root 8 times 1 plus 1, so it's going to be 4 over 3. Okay, so both our slopes are 4 and 4 over 3. So we can easily do shift tan of, so let's find theta of A. Theta of A, we're going to do shift tan of 4. And we're going to get, let's see, shift tan of 4, 76 degrees. Okay, we can approximate it to 76 degrees. Okay, so this over here is actually 76 degrees. So let me put it in green. 76 degrees. How about for the other slope, for B now, right? Shift tan of B, right? So theta of B is equal to shift tan 4 over 3. If you do here, shift tan of 4 over 3, you're going to get 53.1. Okay, so theta of B is equal to 53.1 degrees. So this one here is 53.1 degrees. Can you find this angle? Of course you can. You can either find this one here by doing 180 minus this and then just seeing, all the angles in a triangle add up to 180. Or you can just simply do, I'm pretty sure many people remember this rule. It's if you have an exterior angle, it's equal to the sum of the remote interiors. So this angle here is equal to this one plus this one. So you can just do 76 minus 53.1. Adi, that works. Or you can do the easier method that most people would remember is you can find this angle over here by doing 180 minus 76, which is actually 104, right? So you have the inner angle 140 degrees. Now you have this angle. Can I find the third angle in the triangle? Of course I can. So 180 minus 104 minus 53.1, and you should get 22.9. Okay, so 22.9 degrees is this angle between both tangents. Okay, let's see. 22.9, they got approximately 23. So 22.9 is accepted, by the way. Okay, If you want to round it to two significant figures, you could say which is 23 degrees. Okay, but actually in the AS Math syllabus, you're required to keep it to one decimal place. Okay, anyway, realize by the way how they said acute angle, because you could also find the angle between both tangents, which is this one, which is the obtuse angle, which is very easy. By the way, you can do it very easily if they asked for it. But to find the acute angle, this is what you do. If you know, let's say they asked for it. Okay, you know this is 22.9, and you want to find the obtuse angle. You just do 180 minus 22.9 because they form a linear pair, right? They form a straight line. So you could have just done 180 minus 22.9 if they asked for the obtuse angle. Okay, so 22.9 degrees. And we come to our final question. For 41, let's finish. بدي خلص. The diagram shows part of the curve y equals 7 minus x cubed and y equals 6 over x cubed and their points of intersection C and D. The coordinates of C and D are C and D respectively. Okay. Show, the x coordinates of C and D are C and D respectively. Show that x equals C and x equals D are roots of the equation x to the power of 6 minus 7x cubed plus 6 equals 0. Solve this equation and hence state the value of C and the value of D. Okay, so please don't be scared. It's really, it's not that hard, okay? You have point C and point D, which are actually the results of the intersection of both of these graphs, 6 over x cubed and 7 minus x cubed, okay? So it's the points of intersection of them. So in other words, how can you find these values? It's when they're both graphs are equal to each other. So when 6 over x cubed is equal to 7 minus x cubed, and obviously to solve this, we just take everything to one side. So before taking everything to one side, I don't like this x cubed in the denominator. For that reason, I'm actually going to cross multiply. Okay, I'm going to cross multiply, and I'm going to get 6 is equal to 7x cubed minus x to the power of 6. And let's take everything to the left because I don't want to keep this minus x to the power of 6 negative. It's my highest term, and I hate working when the highest term is negative. Okay, so I'm going to take everything to the left, and we're going to get x to the power of 6 minus 7x cubed plus 6 is equal to 0. So if you realize, by the way, we need to now solve this, and this is actually what was given to us here, okay? So I actually did this first, and bam, I got the same equation they were showing me. So I have this, I need to solve this equation and state the value of C and the value of D. So the roots of the equation. How can you know what are the roots of the equation? Okay, so after checking this, I don't like that the school never explained this, but they really should have explained it, and it shouldn't, like this section, I think it was given self-study. But basically, we get this, right? I'm opening the solution here because I was looking, what am I going to do? Look, you have this, when you want to solve this, you treat it as if it's a quadratic. Okay, I'm going to show you something, and it's very useful, especially if you're doing AS Math, you need to know this, okay? And for some reason, it just wasn't explained in our school, okay? For quadratics, let's say you have x to the power of 8 plus 4x to the power of 4 plus 3 equals 0. This is a quadratic. How is this a quadratic? If you realize this is a power of 4, right? If you take this middle term, usually the middle term is like your u. You can use u substitution for quadratics, okay? If you set u to be x to the power of 4, x to the power of 8 is actually what? U squared, right? You always said find u and find u squared. Okay, so you're going to have u squared plus 4u plus 3 is equal to 0. And you solve this as if it's a quadratic. Let's give you another example. X to the power of 12. Actually, no, x plus 2x to the power of half plus 3 equals 0. Same thing. You might not have squares, but you need to check. U will always be the middle term. Okay, not always, but maybe most of the time it's going to be middle term. But saying for our level, it's not going to be. So you find u squared. And well, look at that. You can rewrite this in terms of squares. 2u plus 3 equals 0. So this is what I'm going to show you here. Here, you treat it as a quadratic. I saw it, but, I tried solving it a different way. No, that way didn't work. I could only get one root. And I went and asked the rule, if you guys remember, the factors of this divided by the factors of this, to list all the possible roots. It turns out, yes, that's correct to list all the possible roots, but that's for all possible integer roots. So, مثلا, root 2 could be as a root of the equation, but it's not an integer. if you don't know, root 2 is irrational. It's because it's 1.41, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's whatever. It's irrational. It's continuing. It's never ending. Okay. So for this reason, anytime you see it like this, like 3 terms, it's nice. You can see that the term here is 2 times the term here as an exponent. Then you have to use U substitution with quadratics. For the sake, if you're taking the Cambridge AS, you need to know this. Learn it now. I just taught you it. If you don't know, open the Cambridge book or any AS math book, or I'm pretty sure even it's in our syllabus. If you go up in the course questions in chapter 1 in our syllabus book, you can go and read about it. If you're not taking it, know it for this question. Okay. Anyway, x to the power of 6 minus 7 x cubed plus 6. You can set u as x cubed, right? So what's u squared gonna be? X6. So we can substitute u squared minus 7u plus 6 is equal to 0. You can factor this, right? Which numbers multiply to get 6 but add up to get 7? 6 and 1. So u and 6, u and 1 equals 0. So what is the sign? Since it's plus, that means they're both going to be the same. So minus minus. So you're going to get 2 roots. U is equal to 6. U is equal to 1. But what did we say? U was equal to x cubed. So x cubed is equal to 6. X cubed is equal to 1. Therefore, x is equal to cube root of 6. And x is equal to cube root of 1, which is just 1. So you get your 2 roots are cube root of 6 and 1. So which one's which one's cube root 6? If you're not sure what cube root of 6 is, you can just do it on your calculator. Cube root of 6, it's 1.8. So obviously this one here will be 1, and this one here will be cube root of 6. So the value of c is 1, and the value of d is cube root of 6. Okay, c equals 1, and so see here, they never explained it. They just like said, oh shit, x equal 1, cube root of 6. Okay, we're done from this. Easy. Part A, it's not that hard. You just need to use U substitution. Maybe it's a new concept, but it happens. So C equals cube root, C is 1 and D is cube root 6. Okay, find the area of the shaded region between the two curves. So the area of the shaded region, remember when you're finding the area between two curves, you just do first curve minus second curve, right? So we're going to do integral. Our bounds are between what? Between C and D. So between 1 and cube root 6 of one function minus the other function. It doesn't really necessarily matter the order because you're just going to make the final answer positive, right? 6 over x cubed. Okay, dx, we're going to continue integrating 1 to root 6, cube root 6, 7 minus x cubed minus 6x to the minus 3 dx. Integral now, we're going to get, it's going to be 7 over 4 x to the power of 4. Let me erase. 7 over 4 x to the power of 4 minus 6 over minus 2 x to the power of minus 2. Wait, and why do I did something wrong, huh? Yeah. What am I doing? It was 7 minus, I don't know how it became 7x cubed. So 1, so integral here from 1 to cube root x. So it should be 7 minus x cubed. Sorry, huh? 7 minus x cubed. Alright, minus 6x to the minus 3. Okay, now let's actually integrate. 7 becomes 7x, minus x cubed becomes minus x to the power 4 over 4. Minus 6x to the minus 3 becomes minus 6x to the minus 2 over minus 2. Our bounds are from root 6 to 1. Let's continue over here. We're going to do a substitution now. Let's clean it up before I substitute. I'm going to take the x minus 2 down. I'm going to cancel the minus 6 and minus 2. So it's going to be 3 over x squared. Okay? So plus 3 over x squared. Just to make it clean. Okay. So we're going to start out here with root 6. So 7 times root 6 minus root 6 to the power of 4. Okay? Over 4 plus 3 over root 6 squared minus open bracket. Substitute 1. So 7 minus 1 over 4 plus 3 over 1, close bracket. Okay, so we're going to put this on our calculator. 7 root 6 minus root 6 to the power 4 over 4 plus 3 over root 6. Whoa! Yeah, no. So minus root 6 to the power 4, root 6 to the power of 4 over 4 plus 3 over root 6 to the power of 2 minus, now open bracket, 7 minus 1 over 4 plus 3. Okay, so you get, obviously you're gonna get a decimal, minus 1.1. We're gonna make it positive, so we're gonna make it 1.1, unless they want it in terms of root 6. You want to just make this, let's just make this positive, okay, equals 73 plus 28. No, you want to take the negative out, right? So if you want to take the negative out, doesn't just mean make this first value positive, no, huh? It just means you take the negative out, so it's gonna be 73 minus 28 root 6 over 4. Okay, unit squared. Let's check if this is the correct answer. I want to see what they got. They got 1.153. How much did you get? 1.153. Probably substituted something wrong. It's 7x minus x to the power 4 over 4 plus 3 over x squared from the cube root of 6. Oh, I'm using root 6. Why am I using root 6? Aha. Cube root 6. Shit. Sorry. Should use cube root 6. Cube root 6. Yes. Okay, let's do cube root 6. Cube root. Oh shit. Let me fix this all up. Okay, yeah, we got 1.153 unit squared. Okay, the tangents to the two curves at x equals k, where k is in between c and d, are parallel to each other. Find the value of k. Okay, so basically they want us to find a value of a tangent basically that are parallel to each other. Let me erase this because هيدا كله تخبيص. خلاص, we found the answer. You need to kind of visualize this. I'm gonna take it to open board again. Okay, there's two tangents. Okay, so there's a value where when a tangent is drawn, it's gonna be parallel. Okay, they're both gonna be parallel to each other. So you can kind of like start to see it. So it's gonna look something like this, you know. These are two parallel lines. Okay, you need to know what is this k value, right? What is this k value? Let's see, what are we gonna do? You need to know that when two lines are parallel, they have what? The same slope. So m of ta, let's call it, is equal to m of tb, right? Type, okay, what's the slope of the first one? What's the slope of the second one? How do you find the slope of a tangent to a curve? You need to derive. Okay, so first we're going to start with deriving 6 over x cubed, which is 6x to the minus 3. Derive it. It's going to be minus 3 times 6 times x to the power of minus 4. So it's going to be minus 18 over x to the power of 4, right? This is the tangent. Also, this is the derivative, right? And when you substitute k into x, right? When you substitute k into x, we're going to get this slope. Okay, so m of the tangent. Oh, yeah, let's just, this is the derivative of the first one, right? Y prime 1, we're going to call it. How about the second derivative of the other curve? Because remember, we're talking about two tangents, one for this curve, one for the other curve. 7 minus x cubed. What's the derivative of it? It's going to be minus 3x squared, right? You just derive it. 7 doesn't derive, minus 3x squared. Okay. You need to now see when are the slopes equal to each other, right? When are they equal to each other? You can simply do this. So minus 3x squared. What's the slope of the first tangent? It's at k, right? They said you can do two ways. I think you can just, at x equals k, right? So how do you find the slope of a tangent? You substitute the x value into your derivative, right? So the slope of this one, we're going to call it y prime 1. So let's just call ma is equal to mb. It has to be because they're parallel, okay? So y prime 2 and y prime 1, we have them both. We're going to substitute our x value. We don't know what it is, man. We're trying to find it, right? We're just going to call it k, okay? Or you can just continue solving as x, it's fine, okay? But the whole point is that they both have to be equal to each other. So minus 18 over x to the power 4 should be equal to minus 3x squared. We're going to cancel minus with minus. We're going to cross multiply. So you're going to get 18 is equal to 3x to the power of 6. So you're going to get x to the power of 6 is equal to 6. And you're going to get x is equal to the 6th root of 6. Sure, let's see, is that correct? Yes. The only real positive solution is k equals 6th root of 6. Okay. But you need to say, I'm not sure about this, but you need to say x is equal to plus minus 6 root of 6. Why? Because it's an even exponent. Even roots always have a positive and negative answer. Okay? And you have to say since it's above. Okay, it's above. Wait, it should be negative, no? Oh no, no, sorry. Yeah, since it's positive, it has to be positive. It must be positive because we're talking about x values, right? It's between 1 and 2. It's greater. It's positive because remember they gave us the condition that k is in between what? C and D, right? It's positive because k has to be greater than c. It has to be after c. And we said c was, I think, 1, right? So hence k is equal to the positive, the positive 6th root of 6. Okay, that's it. Mash fishy. But before I continue, before I stop, I think there was one more top, but it's not included. This one here. Perpendicular. And we start at 32. Yeah, so we have 2 questions here. I'm just gonna solve them. You can skip this, but just for the final, I'm gonna solve these, okay? Let me continue. A curve is such that the derivative is equal to k minus 2x, where k is a constant. Given that the tangents where x equals 5 and x equals 6 are perpendicular, find the value of k. What's the slope of the tangent at x equals 5? What's the slope of the tangent at x equals 6? The slope of the tangent at x equals 5, you substitute 5 into the derivative, right? They gave you the derivative. So k minus 2 times 5, which is equal to k minus 10. And the slope of the tangent at x equals 6 is just substitute 6 into the tangent, so it's going to be equal to k minus 12. We know that these two are perpendicular. What do we know about perpendicular slopes? That this normal slope is equal to negative 1 over the other slope, right? Or the other way around, sorry. The perpendicular m of the normal, so if they're perpendicular, equals minus 1 over the other one. Okay, so that means k minus 10 would be equal to negative 1 over k minus 12. Okay, so to solve this, you can, let's see here, we're just going to cross multiply k minus 10 times k minus 12. You're going to get k squared minus 12k, then minus 10k plus 120. Okay, equals negative 1. Don't forget about this. Huh? Let's distribute k squared minus 22k plus 120 equals negative 1. And then take the negative 1 here. You're going to get k squared minus 22k plus 121 equals 0. So it's a quadratic you can solve. And by the way, this is a perfect square because 2ab, this is 2. If you look, square root of 121 is 11. And 2 times 11 is 22. So this is actually a perfect square. So this is actually just k minus 11 squared. So your root is equal to k equals 11. Or you can use quadratic formula, or you can factor, whatever you want. But it's it's obvious. K equals 11 when you solve this. Okay, so the value of k is 11. Given that the curve passes through 7, 30, find the equation of the curve. So you now know that the derivative is k minus 2x. It's 11 minus 2x. We want to find the actual curve. This is the derivative. How do you find the actual curve? Y is equal to integral 11 minus 2x dx. Okay, so integral 11 minus 2x dx. So it's going to be 11x minus 2 over 2 x squared. So it's going to be 11x minus x squared plus c. I have to put plus c. So they gave me 7, 30. So substitute 7. So 11 times 7 minus 7 squared plus c is equal to 30. So 77 minus 49 plus c is equal to 30. So you're going to get c is equal to 2. I think, is it? For 51. No, keep 2. For Umbella, yeah, 2. Yeah, so you're gonna get that the curve is actually 11x squared, 11x minus x squared plus 2. If you want to write it in standard form, it's minus x squared plus 11x plus 2. Okay, and let's see this. 11x minus x squared. Okay, you can do this. Okay, a curve y equal fx has stationary point, whatever. It's given that f prime of x is this, where k is a constant. Show that k is equal to negative 3 and hence finds the coordinates of the other stationary point m. Very, very easy. They gave you the stationary point. What does the stationary point do? Basically, add the derivative. What happens to the stationary point? Y equals 0. So when you substitute now 4 into the derivative, you should get 0 because it's a stationary point. So 3 times 4 squared plus k times 4 minus 36 is equal to 0. So 16 times 3, 48 plus 4k minus 36 equals 0. You're going to get 4k is equal to negative 12. Okay, so k is equal to negative 3. Okay, let's see, is k equal negative 3? K is equal to negative 3. What do they say? Find the other stationary point. Okay, how do you find the other stationary point? Remember, just equate the derivative to 0, right? So equate this to 0, 3x squared plus kx. Remember, we just found k as negative 3. 3x squared minus 3x minus 36 equals 0. You can take 3 out. It's going to be x squared minus x minus 12 is equal to 0. So you're going to get two solutions. You're going to get x minus 4, x plus 3. Okay, equals 0 if you factor. So your other solution is x equal to 4. So that's the x coordinate of the other one. Find the second derivative and determine the nature of each of the stationary points n and m. And then they're saying find f of x. Okay, find the second derivative. So derive this again. The second derivative, you do the second derivative. Sure, why am I doing root? The second derivative, you just derive it again, right? So 3x squared, derive it, it's going to become 6x. Minus 3x will become minus 3. Minus 36 is equal to 0. 6x minus 3, right? This is the second derivative. Determine the nature. What do? We substitute each one. At negative 3, 6 times negative 3. And this is 6 times minus 3. Minus 3 is equal to minus 21, which is less than 0. So x equals minus 3 is max. And then substitute 4. 6 times 4 minus 3 is equal to 21, positive, which is greater than 0. So x equals 4 is minimum. Okay, let's check this as Saria. Minimum is minus 3, maximum is maximum is minus 3, 4 is minimum. And they said find f of x. Okay, very easy. We have the derivative. So how do we find f of x? We just integrate, right? So just integrate 3x squared, integral of 3x squared minus 3x minus 36 dx, integrate it. You're going to get 3 over 3x cubed minus 3 over 2x squared minus 36x, right? Plus c. This is going to be cancelled. You're going to get x cubed minus 3 over 2x squared minus 36x plus c. Substitute 4 minus 100. You can substitute 4 minus 100, so it's going to be 4 cubed minus 3 over 2 times 4 square minus 36 times 4 plus c equals 100. So solve this on a calculator and you should get c equals 4. C x cubed minus 3 over 2 x squared minus 36. Yeah, substitute 4. You're going to get c equals 4. So that means f of x is just going to be equal to x cubed minus 3 over 2x squared minus 36x plus 4. Okay, very easy. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm pretty sure we're done. Yeah, we're done. Thank you so much for watching and good luck.